You know, to be quite honest with you, it's about this super powerful intuitive message that you are going to have on your mind from the beginning of this week. This super powerful intuitive message is just basically gonna seem so instantly attractive to you, and that in itself, it's a lot to do with you kind of having a psychic and intuitive message, but then at the same time it's like an idea. What do you want to do when it comes to your life, but especially when it comes to your future? You will really want to accomplish this particular thing, which is persistently going to be on your mind right at the beginning of this week, my gorgeous Virgolini. This is really important. This is an intuitive message. This is a psychic message. On one hand, you know, this is like, you know, basically a lot about you being absolutely ready at this moment in time to actually do this. So you have to be strong in order to feel your power. You have to be strong in order to make this necessary step. And the only way to be strong at this stage of your life is just to basically be as confident as you possibly can. You know, when we have a really powerful intuitive and psychic messages, they come from somewhere really sacred. They come from a completely different dimension. But most importantly, it's a very sacred sign that this is the path that we have to get on almost immediately. This in itself is literally like a blessing, because it's also providing you with an important information which is at the same time becoming shortcut towards your own happiness. And the way you're gonna know this, the way you're gonna feel this, my gorgeous Virgolini, is just the happiness and excitement and how excited you're actually going to feel. So this psychic and intuitive message that you are going to have from the beginning of this week, it's really kind of, it's just going to come to you completely out of the blue, like literally, like, oh my God, like completely out of the blue. And this is the week that I'm doing a reading in between the 13th and the 19th of March 2023. And even more so, I'm telling you that this message, this psychic intuitive message, is going to come to you completely out of the blue. Now suddenly, what this message is going to be about, now suddenly you will want to do something very specific when it comes to your future. You will want to accomplish something, and at the same time you are going to be reminded of something that you came across within the last few months. You saw something, you came across something, and that particular thing that you saw and you came across really kind of felt so different within your spirit, within your soul, and you were so inspired. You were so inspired by something so much, by gorgeous Virgolini, within the last few months. And it doesn't matter whether you forgot about it, because you didn't. Okay, so for the few days you were like, oh my God, so inspired by something that by something that you came across. You were so inspired for a few days, you know, after that moment in time, within the last few months. And then so many other things came, so many other things were happening in your life, you know, and you just like kind of, as I said, forgot about it. But you did not forgot about it. You needed this period and this stage of few months, you know, to learn and to come across other things which are going to prepare you for this moment in time. And although you may not feel ready right now, but you just need to understand it's all about you. It's all within you. It's all within your spirit, and it's all within your power. If you're not ready for something, then that particular thing wouldn't be on your mind, and it would not come to you, you know. It would not knock on your spiritual door to this point where you just cannot stop thinking about it whatsoever. Yes, this is a lot to do with having an idea about how you want your life to be and how you want your future to be. And this particular thing that is going to be on your mind, it's really kind of going to bring you the actual life of, you know, happiness and optimism, because you are actually going to achieve something great. In fact, you really need to take this on no matter what, and this always comes with a little bit of a challenge. So it's all about what this psychic and intuitive message is, and you will know what this is because it's to do with your future, it's to do with your future planning. But it's not suddenly to do also with the fact that this just took over your life for a few minutes in the best possible way. It's going to shake you to the point that it's going to be impossible for you not to notice this. So this is a very much so a rather sacred path of your spiritual journey opening up right in front of you. And I know that a part of the challenge is going to be, I can't do that right now. No, baby, no. What you need to do, you need to make a room for this. You need to think about your priorities, and you need to put this as a priority, as a number one. And I know that this can be so confusing for so many of you, like, what am I talking about? But you will see in between the 13th and the 14th of March 2023, what are you going to feel so strongly about? What are you going to be thinking about? What is going to elevate you to the point where you're just going to start planning about your future, and you at the same time going to start feeling yourself. At the same time, you're going to start feeling your own vibration rising like a biggest mama in the world. And that in itself means that you're also now suddenly going to be thinking a lot, like, what are you missing out in life? You will want to connect and reconnect with the people. Suddenly you will want to do like silly things, which is absolutely fine. Suddenly you will want to try this, you will want to try that. Suddenly you will become open to this, you will become open to that. And you're also going to have such a an element of like a cheekiness and naughtiness. And then you're also like kind of going to start feeling happy, and you're going to find yourself like singing every now and then, like maybe throughout this week, like in a sweet, cute and funny way. And that in itself, it's really going to make you aware of like something is changing, something is happening. And you may not realize that this is, at the back of your mind, is this you feeling so excited about what was on your mind, about this particular step that you want to make towards your future. You may not realize it's that, but you are going to realize by the end of the week that why exactly are you feeling so cheeky and naughty and happy. And there's some vibrations and energy that this is actually going to bring into your sign throughout this week that are going to remind you of how you used to be, how you used to live your life. I'm not saying that your life is horrible, but it's just going to be lots of elements that you're not doing right now, that you're not doing right now, that you used to do and you used to enjoy yourself. So this is in itself going to bring the best out in you. And as I said, you may not realize that you're so happy and excited and cheeky and funny. It's almost like you're old getting back, to you. You are like reconnecting with yourself. And as I said, you're going to love this feeling. And there are so many ideas that this feeling is actually also going to bring. You're going to start to live again, my gorgeous Virgolini. So of course that you are going to like it, but you may not realize the connection with the actual intuitive and psychic message that you are going to have at the beginning of this week, my gorgeous Virgolini. But most importantly, you will realize by the end of this week exactly what makes you so happy, what is making you feel so optimistic, what is making you feel so cheeky suddenly in the best possible way. You're gonna start joking, and I'm not saying that you weren't joking, but something is going to be so different. It's like so much is going to start making sense in your life, why certain things were slowed down, and most importantly, why you didn't do certain things that were so important to you, and you were almost like torturing yourself to do something, but you didn't. And now you're going to realize that it was better that you didn't, because otherwise you wouldn't have this unfolding right in front of your very own eyes. So pay attention to what this psychic and intuitive message is going to be, because this is going to be absolutely remarkable, and it can come to you in so many different ways, but it is just going to be persistently on your mind. This is either you're going to see something that you're going to be reminded of this, or either you're just going to wake up in the morning and now suddenly this is going to be on your mind, or this is just going to come to you completely, literally out of the blue, while you're watching TV. You may see something that reminds you of that subconsciously, but not even being aware of the fact that this is reconnecting you with yourself to the point where you are going to have probably one of the biggest wake-up calls in your life, because you're also going to hear at the beginning of this week you're going to hear something that is really going to piss you off, like, oh my god. You're going to hear something, I'm sorry, piss you off. It's like, I don't know, you're just gonna feel something, you're gonna hear something about someone who means to you so much, who you love, and someone who is not directly connected to you, not a family member, but somebody who you really like a friend, or like someone who you know from somewhere, and it's like a really sweet and nice person, but then you're gonna hear something that they've done to themselves, and you will know that this is not right, and this is really going to kind of throw you out of balance a little bit, because what you're gonna hear what that person has done to themselves, you will know that it's very destructive to themselves, and it's going to be destructive very soon. And this is going to get you worried, just a little bit when it comes to the beginning of this week. But there is nothing you can do about it. It's to do with a specific decision that particular person that you really like, just made, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. But you will understand so much more than that person is actually understanding. I hope you understand what I mean. You're going to understand so much more, and you're going to be able to see way beyond. And that in itself is going to make such an impact on your life, on your emotions, and it is going to be like a wake-up call in such a way where you're going to understand how precious life is through that particular situation. You're going to understand how precious life is, and that in itself is also going to be such a great eye-opener, and it is indeed going to play an important role when it comes to you just really making a step at this stage of your spiritual journey that you maybe normally wouldn't make because you don't feel like you're prepared, but you most certainly are. And this is why these moments are so golden, when we have it in such a strong and intuitive and powerful psychic message, and we feel our future, we feel so much about ourselves, we feel our destiny, we feel our future so vividly, and that elevates our lives just by while we are thinking about it. This is something that you need to work for, you need to work with, not against. Okay, very, very important indeed. Sorry, so this so this psychic and intuitive message that you are going to have, this is really a lot to do with you kind of doing something very specific about your future. And this in itself, it's also like almost like it's going to make your life like luxurious, in compared to what it is now. I mean, you could be like living absolutely the life of your dreams, but it doesn't really matter that, if people are really rich and completely like loaded with money and things like that, it does not necessarily brings you happiness, know what I mean? So you can be happier, but it doesn't necessarily bring you like an emotional happiness. So this is covering quite a lot when it comes to this. So this particular message is actually going to, but first of all, sorry, when you have this intuitive psychic message at the beginning of this week, what I wanted to stress and I wanted to say that, you know, not immediately you're going to be like, oh yeah, baby, let's go with the flow. Yeah, baby. no, yeah, baby. Not immediately. Yeah, but it's just going to be, first of all, it's going to confuse you a little bit because being a Virgolini, you're very deep and you're like kind of sometimes, you know, you overthink. And this is something that you must not do. You must not overthink. You've got me right now here telling you this, of course, that you're not going to do this. But as soon as you become aware of that message, my gorgeous Virgolini, you're actually going to become, this is going to take you like, ooh la la, way somewhere. And then you're going to be a bit of indecisive. You know, you're going to be like, oh my God, indecisive, because something else that you're working on at the moment is just going to be like kind of become clicky in compared to that. You know, it's kind of like, oh my God, it's just going to cause you to be indecisive. And it's all about you being indecisive to make the necessary move or to make the necessary step or how you're going to do this. Some kind of indecisiveness is going to be like you feeling right now that you need to make like a kind of difficult choice. And now what things are going to become very interesting here, you're going to kind of like you're going to think that you're making a difficult choice, and there is some kind of correlation with the water going to be with the water, whether you're going to drink when you are like kind of thinking about drinking something. No, when you're thinking about like kind of like making this decision, which you're going to kind of find like a difficult decision, at around that time you will go in this particular very specific mode, and there is a very strong correlation with the water. You're either going to see the bottle of water or you're going to see a glass of water, or you're going to see the actual water outside, or you're going to see the water on TV, or you're going to see the water in the picture somewhere. There is a very strong correlation, or you're going to have a glass of water and drinking. There is a very strong correlation going to happen at around the time when you see the water or drink the water or touch the water or you're around the water. This is going to be the time where you need to understand that there is going to be a very, very sacred sign. But before you see that sacred, special, amazing, mind-blowing sign, you are going to become aware of some kind of water. Whether you're going to be drinking water, you see I've got a blue t-shirt, baby. whether you're going to be drinking water or whether you're going to like kind of like you know, see the water. It doesn't matter. This is going to be an indicator, and you're gonna like kind of be taken away at that moment in time. You will have some kind of indication, like something is gonna happen. Like I feel something, because you're extremely psychic indeed. And then at around that time, you are going to be able. You're gonna have this sign, this really powerful sign that's exactly you should go for, and that sign that you are going to have, it's going to be very different, very unique, but most certainly it's going to be super clear. That sign, it's going to be all about you being ready to like just transform certain things in your life, you being at the beginning of a very, very powerful transformation, and it's coming with so many elements of like, oh my god, surprised, you know what I mean, my gorgeous Virgolini. But that sign is going to be an absolutely crucial for you for once to actually make this decision and to take this on. And then on another hand, you will just know that now it's time to transform your life, and this is indeed going to be the first step. But you must not think negatively. There is something that is going to make you think in a negative way. I don't know, maybe it's to do with the finances and the financial situation. Now, it doesn't matter. You could be a millionaire, you could be a billionaire, but there is still something that is going to be connected to the finances that is still going to be holding you back. Or perhaps you're going to hear something negative about the finances in general, and then something is going to make you worried. No, baby, no. You just ignore this like a devil. You just ignore this as much as you possibly can. Bye, baby. And because if you start worrying, this is only going to work against you. So you have to be strong, and most importantly, you need to stay on top of that, okay? Because this in itself, it's bringing you absolutely mind-blowing, unlimited possibilities, but at the same time, you are going to realize such a powerful desires. Our desires are our passion. Our passion is our power. Our power is our strength. It's what keeps us going. It's what keeps us evolving. We are changing every single day, every single hour, every single minute, and that's exactly what this change is bringing with it. By the time you get to the mid part of this week, my gorgeous Virgolini, by the time you get to the mid part of this week, you know, there is this wonderful person. I really like this person, like a really kind of powerful man, wonderful man, very grounded man in your life. You know, this person is very like kind of passionate, this person is very successful, this person is very powerful, and this person is like also at the same time, you know, this person kind of accomplished a lot in their lives, and this person is also like kind of someone who is very much so emotionally mature, like super mature, but it doesn't necessarily come across that particular way. This is a male person, and it's also like kind of, this person is like a very powerful person in your life. Maybe this is somebody who is like, you know, family member or a friend or someone who you know, or maybe it's somebody who you look up to on the internet, maybe someone who you read up about. You know, that particular person, a male person, at around the midweek is actually going to say something, and what that person is going to say, it's really going to open your eyes when it comes to you, like really understanding, you know, that now at this stage of your life, you really are gonna need to start moving on. If you don't do it right now, you know, I'm not saying that you're not gonna be able to move on, but now you're also gonna understand through that particular person that you are a really kind of, not only it's like important for you to move on now, but it's at the same time, if you do it right now, you're just gonna go with this particular flow, and it's just gonna bring you so much sooner and so much quicker to the destination that you want to get. You're healing and you're ascending onto the next level of your life. Somehow through this particular person, you're actually going to understand this, and even more so, you're gonna be able to understand that there is something very specific in your life that you've been defensive about. It's to do with a burden in your your life that you've been defensive about for way too long, and this has been slowing you down, and this have been causing you to feel like you haven't got the capacity when you do have a capacity. And this was very often like kind of like it wasn't kind of making things easy for you whatsoever. So through that person, you're gonna understand that there is this specific burden in your life that you are not dealing with correctly. And every single time when that burden comes up, and this was like really affecting you over the last 11 months so badly, and every single time this burden comes up, my gorgeous Virgolini, it's basically you feel too defensive. So you're gonna understand that you can't keep on feeling too defensive about this burden, because you're not gonna be able to move on, you're not gonna be able to heal, you're not going to be able to kind of live your life to the fullest. So you need to let this go. And that in itself, it's like kind of also like it was causing you to make impulsive mistakes. So you really need to see what this is. I mean, mind you, having said that, you are going to realize at around the midweek that you're approaching, you know, the end of like a very difficult problem. And that in itself, it's really kind of going to happen very unexpectedly, but it's going to show you clearly how quickly you can abandon something in your life that does not serve you whatsoever. So this in itself, it's really kind of going to be so positive at this moment in time, because it's just going to kind of make you aware of the fact that, you know, if you like, you know, if you make a necessary step, you don't have to really worry about it, because, you know, things can actually work out at the end in your favor. So this is very, very important for you to understand, because through that person, you're going to understand how to deal with this specific burden. So it's all about you changing your mind about it and look at the things from a completely different angle. So it's like, instead of being defensive about something, now it's time to actually deal with this. This is so important. Look, let me show you. And now it's time to actually deal with this. Wait. In between, what I find is pleasing and I'm feeling fine. In between, what I find is pleasing and I'm feeling fine. In between, what I find is pleasing and I'm feeling fine. Sorry, my gorgeous Virgolini. So this, look, for example, when it comes to like you really just changing your attitude about a certain burden, this is what you need to do. You just need to change your attitude about it, because every single time when you think about it, you have been defensive. And if you're constantly defensive, nothing is going to move on. Nothing is going to change. You see this? You are constantly going to be fighting with yourself. You see? So this is why you have to really kind of understand that now you're really reaching an important stage in your life. You've got everything you possibly need. You just need to kind of identify what this is, my gorgeous Virgolini, and literally move on. By the time you get to the last part of this week, and now, oh my God, this is a very complex week when it comes to you, my gorgeous Virgolini. Indeed, when it comes to the last part of this week, you are really going to need to understand, you're going to realize that you were holding on to something too tightly. You're holding on to something too tightly. Okay, so you just need to identify what this is, because it's not that you need to identify, but you're gonna realize that you were holding on to something too tightly, and this created a very kind of unique energy and vibration that, you know, prevented you from kind of like achieving certain things in your life, especially when it comes to like you maybe recognizing meaningful experiences. So this was kind of clouding your mind as well. So you're going to realize that you were holding on to something like too tightly. And you will see this, especially when it comes to the 18th and the 19th of March, as well, especially, you will realize that you need to relax about something. You need to chill out a little bit about something. You're holding on to something too tightly. And you will see exactly what this is on the 18th and the 19th of March. And as soon as you become aware of this, you will know what this is, because you will know, oh, I need to relax about it a little bit. And as soon as you identify what this is, you know, like not that long after that moment in time, you are going to really have such a strong urge to explore something, to find out a bit more about the specific information that you're actually going to hear, specific message that you're going to hear at the same time. You know, it's not going to seem that interesting like almost immediately, but then you will see like a few hours later, as the time goes by, and I'm talking about hours here now, suddenly there is something that you will want to learn about. There is something that you will want to kind of find out more about. And this is an organic sign for you, that organically, not organic sign, but this is a sign for you that organically you have to like kind of like really investigate and inspect like what this actually is. This is very important, because at the same time, what you are going to feel very strong connection to learn, to find out a little bit more, to explore. At the same time, you will not know this. This is going to take you somewhere really amazing, somewhere really amazing. So you're going to like, oh my God, I want to find out about this book, for example. And then you go outside and let's say you go and get a book, and you're on your way to get a book, and then something is going to happen like out of this world on your way going to get a book, for example. Or you're going to find out, oh, I want to, I don't know, be more cooking. And then you go out and you want to cook curry or something for the first time, let's say curry, and then you go out, you buy things for curry, for example, and then you come back home, and then on your way back home, something really amazing is going to happen. I'm telling you this, you just have to follow this path. Oh my God, you have to follow this path. With other words, this is going to bring you a really, something is going to happen to you. You are going to have a really meaningful experience, and that really mind-blowing, meaningful, beautiful experience, it's also going to feel like an adventure. And that in itself, it's really going to help you to recognize some kind of capability of yours. And that particular capability that you're actually going to recognize, it's just going to bring you probably one of the biggest recognition into your life, but it's also going to bring you an ultimate change. And it's not going to feel like it at all. But by September, by the end of September 2023, this particular thing is going to explode. Honestly, it's like a tiny little seed you're finding now, you know, tiny little seed you're planting, and by September, by the end of September 2023, that particular tiny little seed is going to become the most powerful oak in the forest. Listen to me, it's important. So this in itself, it's absolutely remarkable, because at the same time, you know, it's just basically going to show you the way. You're gonna realize, you know, at around the end of the week, you know, that now it's time to like really unblock yourself. And I'm not having a go at you or anything like that, but I think for a while you've been doing certain things, you know, and you didn't bring enough new things into your life. So it's all about like kind of like, you know, at around the end of the week, it's all about this optimism that you're going to feel, and especially you will want to do so much more. And within the last like about 7 or 8 months, you know, you felt so restricted. You know, within the last 7 or 8 months, you weren't doing what you wanted to do, and you felt really restricted. And that in itself, it's all going to play an important role for you to see this from a completely different perspective, from a completely different angle. And it's all bringing you to this point and to this stage in your life where you are going to find yourself, you know, realizing like so much potential. This is bringing a whole new venture into your life, and also, my gorgeous Virgolini, a brand new mind-blowing beginning. Okay, my gorgeous Virgolini, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye. in between. What I find is pleasing and I'm feeling fine.